Hello, and here we are in the V35B Bonanza V-tail. Just a stunning aircraft. I had a toy one of these when I was a kid, and I just loved the shape of it. That V-tail really does add something to it. I was going to fly this route in the Spitfire. Did a quick recce in the Bonanza last night, and kind of realised I don't fly it enough. So thought, what the hell? For this trip, we'll take it up again. But look at that, isn't it just a cracking aircraft? Perfect. So we are going to be flying from Cumbernauld here in, I guess, the lowlands up to RAF Lossiemouth, up on the Moray Firth. As you can see from the route, it's going to take us through some pretty scenic territory, up through the mountains, up through the Craigellachie National Park. It's a route that I've driven many times. Beautiful in real life. Perfect. So let's see what it's like in the sim. Okay, so here we are in the cockpit. I'm leaving the door open just to keep it ventilated while we're sitting on the ground here, standing at the moment. Something that A2A have modelled very well in these is if you close all the doors and close little ventilation panels, then they kind of steam up pretty quickly, which is what would happen in real life. So we'll keep some nice fresh air coming in. It's pretty reasonable weather today. We are up in Scotland. It's not going to be like the south of France. As you can see, the sun has just gone in. I should very quickly say weather here, using the fair weather preset with active sky for P3D version 4. I'm using ASCA to drive global dynamic, and I'm using recce Skyforce 3D cloud textures, and I'm using recce environmental force, which I've only had for a couple of days, and I've got to say, so far I think it's great. It just seems to make everything a little bit more realistic, which is what I'm striving to do with this thing. So there's the weather. I haven't really flown this a great deal. I've done some group flights in it. I've done a few hops. I think I've only got about 11 hours on it, which is shameful because it's a beautiful aircraft, but I tend to spend all my time up in the Warbirds. But I think this and the Comanche are my two favourite GA aircraft. But yeah, the V-tail is just such a pretty design. So first things first, let's go into our checks, and we're going to do a walk around outside. I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible on the ground because we want to get up in the air, but I think it's always good to do it. No, we don't want to start the engine yet. Hold your horses. Pre-flight we haven't done, so we're going to pop out and do that now. One thing I'm going to quickly do is we're going to take out that, pop the battery on, pop the pitot heat on just to warm up the pitot heat, or warm up the pitot tube, I should say, so we can have a look at that. Cracking aircraft. Love it, love it, love it. Isn't that great, that lighting effect there? The sun is, or the cloud shadow is above where we are, but you can see the sun over there on the hills. Fantastic, that's what it's about. Right, let's switch that off now, and let's jump outside. Wrong one. So let's go to the first station. Let's have a look. Linkages are fine. I have a feeling, yes. You're meant to drop the old flaps for this, my friend. There's the old flap indicator. Let's do that again. There we go, give it a wobble. And everything is looking good there. Let's move on to the next station. Everything is looking fine there. Over here, we've got no fuel in the tip tank, so that's empty. Not too worried about that. Check the lights. Yep, that's looking good. Let's remove the tie on this side and remove the chocks, and the wheels are looking good. Check the fuel quantity there is good. We're pretty much running, I think, fairly full wing tanks. Check the news. Proper inflation condition of the tyre. Well, that looks alright to me. Got any pterodactyls nesting in here? No, everything's good there. Landing taxi lights looking good. All our inlets are clear. Our filter or air filter is clear. Check the oil. Looking good. Okay, interesting. Now, wonder why that's greyed out. There's probably a good reason for that, and if I flew this more often, I'd know why. A quick look back there. For some reason, the fuel strainer quick drain valve is not working here. There must be a reason for that. Check there. Remove the chocks, remove the tie down, remove the pitot heat cover. Forgotten that before. Still warning tab, hello. Take that off and let's check it. It's cold, I didn't leave it on for long enough. Okay. It should be empty, it is. Gauges are fine. It's looking okay. Nothing broken there. Clear the static source. No earwigs faffing about in there. Quick look over here. All the linkages there are fine. That's good. And back here, clear the static source here, and checks that the baggage is locked. Okay, right. Quick look down here. I've left the battery on, which was not a good idea. So let's take that off. Right, let's close the door. Okay, that's secure. Open the vent here so we don't steam up. Now, just getting my controls set up. Let's bring up the checklist. Back. So we've done the pre-flight. Passengers, there's no one, so we don't have to worry about them. Seat belts, shoulder harnesses are on. Flaps are up. No, they're not. They are now. Put that in the middle. Radios are off. Circuit breakers are all in. All electrical switches off. Yes, 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 yes. They're looking good. Yep. Autopilot is off. Well, yep. Rotating beacon. Hang on a minute. Okay, well, I'm going to put the rotating beacon on, but I don't think. Have I missed something? Okay, I'm going to put it on, but there's no call for the battery to be on yet. Fuel selectors, desired tank. We'll start off on the left. And the gear switch is down. Yes. Excellent. Okay, here we go. This is when it starts. So mixture rich, propeller full, throttle full, all fully forward. Battery switches on, battery switch on, alternator switch on. Check we got green. We have. You can hear the beacon just popped on. I can quickly get an outside view. There you go. That's the sound of the beacon rotating underneath the aircraft. Just a little bit of realism. Auxiliary pump. Now this is where you have to be really quick in this aircraft. We basically want that needle just to hit in the green and then pop back, otherwise there's a risk of flooding the engine. And I've actually got a switch set up for this now to make it ultra quick. So here we go. That's all you're getting. Okay. Throttle cracked. Just going to quickly check that the parking brake is on. Yes. Where do we go? Throttle cracked. Mag switch to start. Come on. There we go. Let's check our T's and P's. Okay. Oh, pressure's good. Trying to remember where the ammeter is in this. Ammeter, come to me. Where have you gone? Yeah, this is what happens when you don't fly an aircraft for a while. When you don't do the proper checks, you forget where bits are. Where is the ammeter? Staring me in the face right there, idiot. Mixture, let's lean that now for ground ops. Avionics, let's fire those up. And we will open the cowl flap. Let's just cycle through these. So I have got a flight plan set up, which I'm going to load in if I can remember how to do it. Flight plan, what was it?
TOS, system test OK.
Catalogue, menu, import, there it is. There we go, and we're going to activate that. Yep. Back, map, fantastic, great, that worked, brilliant. Okay. So before we start taxiing, let's just do some checks here. So our radios are on. Transponder is on. Altimeter is not set yet, right. Let's have a quick look. So the current active weather, 1019. There we go. Adding indicator, we're not quite ready to do that yet. Landing gear indicator is green. Radio, we're not going to use air traffic control or ATS. We've got our weather there. Okay. Just going to get rid of this for the time being. Just have another quick look around. We've got our beacon on. I'm going to put the nav on. I'm going to put taxi on. Happy with everything is. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Let's test the brakes. Yep, they're working well. Okay, so we have got a 12 knots headwind at the moment where we're facing, so actually we need to work our way back. So what I'm going to do from here, I think I'm probably going to have to backtrack on the runway. See any way of, yeah, really see any way of taxiing from where I am, so let's do that. Slight glitch there on a bit of grass coming out onto the taxiway. As we're entering the runway, we're now going to put the strobe on the landing line. Check there's nothing coming. Now we're just going to backtrack. See how we've still got some nice sun over on the hills over there, but where we are now is a little bit murky. How's our temps doing? Okay. Now we're doing down here. Okay. Still a run up. Oh, sun's coming out. Love that. Fantastic. Small things. Right, brakes, hold, fuel quantity, check. Yep, everything's good there. Interesting. Okay. I thought I had filled this up, but as you can see, quickly, we've got quite a difference there. So, first mistake, didn't level off the fuel tanks. I assumed I'd already done it. Didn't really pick that up in the pre-flight. Didn't really see much difference there, so it'd be interesting to go back and have a look at those now. So I've now just switched the tank over, so I'll burn more fuel from the right tank. Just check. Yeah, good. Okay. Mixture. Set for forward now. Throttle to 1700 RPM. Check our instruments. Everything's good. Vacuum, which is over here, yeah, that's good. Magnetos, going to check those now, first with the right. Good. Happy. Cycle the prop. There we go. See a drop in the RPMs. And another. See the manifold pressure go up a little bit. And another. Just for the element. Okay, we're good to go. Probably could have done that prop cycle a little bit quicker, really. Okay, controls freeing correct. Let's have a look there. Rudder pedal is good, yeah, I'm happy with that. Fuel pump is off, mixture's rich, prop is full in. Engine gauges, we've had a look at those, happy with those. Cowl flap is open. Trim tabs are neutral, I haven't changed anything with those. Flaps are set, not going to use any flap for this. Doors and windows are secure. And a quick look, yep, so we're rotating at 77 and climbing out at 96. Okay, 77 and 96, that's what we're looking for. Oh, let's just quickly have a look at this. Just check this is all set up. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's go. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Just bring the props back ever so slightly. Well, it's quite blustery. Taxi light. We'll turn off our landing light now as well. Okay, so first turning. Do a fairly fast cruise here, so I'm looking for RPMs 25, manifold pressure around about 25 as well. It's going to lean ever so slightly. Coming up to our first waypoint now. Good, quick look around. No surprises. No, that's good. One of the things I love about having all these weather add-ons. Let's just close this. There we go. Well, I guess weather add-ons, environmental add-ons, shaders, that sort of thing is just how incredibly realistic it all looks. Just trimming out now. The variation of light, where we have the sunlight, got the shadow from the clouds, the way the clouds appear, it's pretty damn realistic. So here we are now heading towards Perth. We've got the mountains on the left there. So quick look down, see everything's looking okay, which it is. Trimming. It's interesting, this is a fair weather preset, but as you can probably tell there's a fair bit of turbulence around. The P3D fair weather preset is pretty much nothing much going on, whereas the active sky certainly injects a bit more realism into it. So this is ORBX Scotland, and whilst it's not photoreal scenery in that sense, it's really good. I think it certainly gives a flavour of the landscape. And it's certainly good enough for VFR navigation. the A9 down there. That's our route to the mountains, as it were. Perth on the nose. Going to turn overhead Perth. If anyone's got any requests, if that's the right word, or anything you'd like to see in terms of content, feel free to stick a comment down below in the video. And I'm always interested to see what people are looking for. I tend to try and make a video when I've actually got a reason to make a video, rather than just feeling that I need to do one once a week, just for the sake of doing it. But yeah, always interested to see what people want to do. A couple of glitches in the sim there. It's a bit worrying when it pauses like that, because you never know if that's going to be the whole thing crashing, or just it's having a little think. So here we are coming up over Perth. Oh, that was a gust. Yeah, it's an interesting weather this, it keeps you on your toes. Turn now. Climbed a little bit. Quick look at Perth. There it is. It's a bit of a cheeky look. Let's get back on track. We'll rack that over a bit too far. Not in the Spitfire now. Those hills just look fantastic. Let's just look at the trim. She's flying nice and stable now. That was obviously a patch of turbulence or something before, because now she's leveled out quite nicely. So the next waypoint we're looking for is Pitlochry. If anyone's actually done this journey by car, lot of these names will probably stand out to you, and certainly for me, Pitlochry was always a kind of one of those waypoints where you kind of get a good feel of where you are in the journey. Gotta say, I'm very pleased with how my recce and Active Sky and Environmental Force are all working together. It's looking good. Right, let's lose a bit of height here. Let's get down into the scenery so we can actually see it. This is Cumbernauld, we're just going over now. One of the things that ORBX captured really well with this scenery is the kind of, if you look over there to that kind of moorland, you've got forest, you've got almost purple heather moorland, and then just under the nose there you've got the more cultivated, if that's the right word, river valley there. You definitely get that transition between real wilderness and where man has left its mark, really. Although at one point a lot of this would have been all forest. And then over time we've cut down a lot of the trees. Forested. Another incredible thing that really shows how time leaves its mark is how populated the Highlands area used to be. It used to be a lot more populated than it is now. Dare I say, we English had a large part to play in that. The people who lived here were much forced off the land to make way for farms and or larger farms, landowners, and that's why we had so many Scots emigrating. So here we are coming up on Pitlochry now, still following the A9. Just going to have a quick scoot round to the east so we can get a proper look at Pitlochry. There's a good old A9.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Yeah. There is definitely terrain ahead. While we're at it.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Let's turn. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. For your sanity and mine. So I want to come down now, lose a bit of height so we can really get to appreciate the scenery, because this is where it starts to get interesting. As we head into the mountains. A9 just going around there. And actually, let's have a look. Over here, if you remember here, certainly if you're from the UK. Oh, there we have a Sims. Yeah, come back, good. You I remember the Battle of Craigellachie. Oh, another pause. Come back. There we go. And this was where the English were coming through the pass, and the Scots were waiting for them up on the hills, and had the benefit of the height, and basically the English got absolutely mullered. And this is down here in this pass. It's a lot more dramatic in real life, but you can kind of see how easy it would have been for the Scots just to absolutely trample the English. Anyway, enough of the history lesson. Tunnel over there. coming up on another waypoint here. We have the Loch Ericht. I do apologise on the pronunciation if I've just murdered yet another language. Still following the A9 here, which is just under us. You can just see it on the nose there. Also see the railway track running alongside it. It's beautiful. A bit of turbulence now. Just over here at the end of the loch we've got Dalwhinnie. The fuel has finally balanced itself out now. See from the terrain how we really are heading up into the heart of certainly this region now. Over there we've got Cumbernauld National Park, just on the distance there. Good old faithful A9. Showing 20 minutes to Lossie. Check around. It's looking good, yes. Newtonmore. Waypoint. Okay, let's bring around now to head to Craigellachie. This body of water here we're coming up to is Lossiemouth. It's quite a well-known water sports centre there. Fishing, booting, you can camp. They've even got a little dry ski slope there where you can do some practicing. Just over there is Fishy Bridge, which is I think it's the Aviemore Gliding Association or Gliding Club. One of my very early videos I took off from there in a twin otter that magically turned into a Lancair Legacy. And here we are in the Cumbernauld National Park. Favourite areas. Take a slight detour around here. It's Loch an Eileen. In reality, it's got a lovely little castle on an island. There's the River Spey, famous for fishermen, and also whiskey distilleries, but that's another story. So we've got Aviemore over there. Over here we have Lossiemouth, and there's Craigellachie Mountain. Take a quick diversion over here. And you can just about see it actually. It does seem to be modelled there. It has got a wonderful beach, and it is a beach. It's quite incredible, and also in the winter quite beautiful when it's covered in snow. Although you wouldn't want to do any sunbathing there. So here we are coming up to Craigellachie. Now they've really modelled this well in terms of parking areas, and you can just see this is the main car park, the funicular railway route just over there, so there's lots of skiing to be had here and walking. We're not going to be doing any of that today. Back on ourselves now. Over there because there's a cracking example of Glacial Valley, which you can just see. I think it's called Lochiemouth, but it's see how deep that is. There's lots of photos of people up there. Anyway, you didn't come here for a tour of the Craigellachie National Park, did you? Okay, so we left Aviemore out a bit, but it's just over there. There it is. Famous little, I guess I was going to say skiing town, I don't know if that's the right thing, but it's where people hang out when they're not skiing. Got a fantastic Highland cafe. Okay, let's get back on track. Just have a quick look around, everything's looking good, yeah. Apologise if the head does crazy things. Sometimes I'm looking over at a map, so it might look a bit odd in the sim. Now this down here, just bring it over a bit. Magical little place called Loch Garten, really nice walk around there. track. Let's check the trim. Just a little bit more, ever so slightly. There's Grantown on Spey, our next waypoint. Really use these other cockpit views, but that's our passenger view. Who left that light on? Is that light on? Oh, it's off. There we go. And back again. Oh, that's the instrument. There we go. So, it can't be right. 9 minutes, really? Perhaps it is. I forget how fast the Bonanza is, really. So now we're coming out of the Cumbernauld National Park. We're following the A95 pretty much. A95 in the River Spey. Where we start to come out of the mountains as we get nearer to the coast. The scenery starts to change slightly, less of the sort of rugged moorland and more of the habitation, farmland. Still a little bit of turbulence. here we are now turning over the over Craigellachie, and down there it's not really modelled, but if anyone has ever had a drop of Macallan single malt, then distillery, just concentrate on the flying for a moment, is just down kind of where the wingtip is, just there, and there is a fairly well known bridge there at Craigellachie, along with a fairly well known Craigellachie hotel. Certainly, I think anyone who's in the Air Force and been stationed at Lossiemouth will certainly have heard of and been to. Okay, let's head for Lossie. Not far to run now. So a quick look around. I'm going to change the other fuel tank just to balance ourselves out a bit. So with the winds at the moment, which actually are quite strong, it's 30 knots from 280 degrees, if this is to be believed. So we are going to go for runway 28 at Lossie, which is rather handy. It's not the main runway, but with a crosswind like that, it's good enough for me. Things might change once we get closer though. Something I will do is, let's just check what the barometric setting is. Okay, so the wind's not bad there, it's 12 knots at 080. Interesting. Interesting that I'm seeing very, very different weather where I am now. Could be the mountains. Be interested to see how that changes. Anyway, we'll trust in that. Altimeter 1019, so that's fine, that's where we are now. I am very interested to see what this weather does now. I'm reading the sim wind from little nav map. So I'll be interested to see how that changes. If it changes. See, out of interest. Where is it? Utilities. Something I've not really done much of this. So, wind direction 278, wind speed 25 knots. Okay. So my GPS is tending to side with my little nav map. There's Lossie on the nose. Okay, so I'm going to go with what my little map and my GPS is working out. And we'll go for 2A. Prop forward, mixture rich. Light on. It's going to be a very rough and ready landing. Let's gear down. Notch your flap. Sim decides to pause. Not a good time. Flap all the way now. Sim decides to pause again. This is more of a Spitfire approach than a Bonanza approach, so do forgive me.
500.
Gear down. Very wobbly. Interestingly, now that we're here, the weather's flipped, so we now have a tailwind. So it's correct to what the meter was saying. Ooh, there we go. And we're down. Interesting how the weather suddenly changed then. If anything, it kind of proves trust what the weather's telling you, even if it's totally different to what you're experiencing on the approach. There you go. So here we are at Lossie, RAF Lossiemouth. This is the Scott flight. RAF Lossiemouth, so there's a bit more detail on this than there is in the standard kind of ORBX. Where should we go? Let's go up here, shall we? Let's backtrack along this runway here. So yeah, you can see some tornadoes back from when this was tornado base. When I lived here, it was, even before that, it was Buccaneer, Jaguar and Shackleton, the fantastic old Shackleton. Lovely old aircraft. Anyway, we're here. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a nice little trip. Hope the tour of, my tour of Scotland wasn't too boring for you, but yeah, enjoyable flight. See you around soon. Cheers now.